A couple thin clouds drift in the sky.
As an Indigenous person, it was a big challenge being an enlisted person in the military. Dealing with difficult people, the harassment, the biases, the racial remarks. Not only as a person, but as a female as well.
A woman wearing an Air Force veteran cap stands by a lake. Some of her medals and pins are in the shape of arrowheads.
Every station I went to, there was some sort of incident that would occur. And it was usually by people that were higher ranking than me. You know, they forced themselves on me. And it was kind of destroying who I was as a person. I didn't really realize until later that's actually was military sexual trauma.
The woman wears glasses and long black hair.
My name is Suzanne Allen. I did a total of 20 years military service.
Titles: Suzanne Allen, U.S. Air Force, 1990 to 93, 1996 to 2013. She stands on a floor with a design of crossed peace pipes.
I'm actually a Sac and Fox Nation of Oklahoma tribal member.
She looks at a painting of two Indigenous men. In a black and white photo, two Indigenous women pose with 4 children.
I remember the teachings that my grandmother taught me, you know, about prayer and having faith and hope and belief in yourself. And her telling us to not completely trust everything because of the way she grew up and just the way our treatment has been throughout history.
Allen drives by trees.
The way the tribes dealt with outsiders. Only talk to the ones you really trust.
She drives by fields with farm buildings on them. The moving footage slows down.
When I went into active duty, I was under the assumption that everybody was kind of treated equal.
She climbs stairs.
Unfortunately, a rude awakening that I was treated quite differently. That resulted in several incidents, what you consider basically assault.
Casting a long shadow, she walks by the lake.
I turned that stuff inward.
The clouds drift above. Low sun reflects on the water.
That's when the binge drinking started.
Three horses stand by trees with autumn leaves almost gone.
I did seek out help from what you would call medicine men.
Allen walks nearby.
They provided certain, I guess, I don't know if you call them rituals or things they wanted me to do every day. At the beginning, they were helpful somewhat.
She stands in an open doorway.
When I retired, that was the point where everything came back out. I spiraled out for a good 4 or 5 years there.
She looks outside. The clouds drift.
I lost a lot of jobs. I went through, I think, a total of 17 jobs that first 5 years out. I was homeless like 3 different times.
She stands on grass against a blue sky.
I was hospitalized 3 times for suicide attempts.
She disappears.
And I remember sitting on the floor. I had broken a razor, and I was cutting my wrist. And all of a sudden, I said out to the universe, if the universe is out there, I don't know what to do. And then in that moment, I heard this voice that said, stop. And I stopped what I was doing, and I'm like, what? Because I thought there was someone in the room with me.
In the shadow of a tree, she reappears, then walks away.
And I felt like at that moment that was like my grandparents. They were telling me, no, you can't keep doing this.
In the Allen family cemetery, she looks down at a gravestone. In the middle of a handwritten list of notes, the term well-being is underlined.
Going to the VA was helpful after all of that, because I don't think I would be here at the moment if I hadn't. I think as an Indigenous person, you have to look at traditional treatments as your base for everything, and then sometimes you're going to have to go outside of that, because one or the other is not going to be the sole thing that's going to help you. You're going to have to seek out as many resources as possible.
In a workshop, she picks up strings of beads.
Going through the VA and getting counseling and going to the programs has helped me deal with a lot of things. You have to go through that anger and that resentment and those feelings and thoughts of yourself and the people around you before you can get to the other side.
Pairs of earrings have different sizes and types of beads.
And that's been the biggest help for me, is going through all of that and getting to the other side to where I am now.
Rows of beads surround a heart.
But for our tribe, there are things that everybody has gone through, whether we are in service or not, that you need to try to be open with. Because that's really the only way you're going to heal yourself, is you have to talk about it. You have to take that step.
By the pipe design, she faces an Indigenous man in a wheelchair. Credits: About Face and National Center for PTSD, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder.